Here's my ranking of all 6 Evil Dead movies. The remake. If you put a gun to my head and asked me to recite a single scene in this movie, I'd be dead on the floor in a pool of blood because I find this movie completely forgettable. It tries way too hard to be scary. When there is humour in there, it's not that funny, which is the same with another movie in a second. It's just a really bland movie and it tries to emulate the style and tone of Evil Dead, but it never really works. Evil Dead Rise. Much like the remake, this movie tries way too hard to be scary as well. Alyssa Sutherland as the Deadite is fantastic in this movie, easily the standout, and there is a lot of gore and a lot of blood, so it'll keep those fans happy. But again, I just find this one completely forgettable, and it's trying way too hard to harken back to the original films. Army of Darkness. This one's a very weird one because it's directed by Sam Raimi, and somehow he doesn't understand his own style and tone, because this movie, unlike the previous 2 films, is trying way too hard to be funny. And yes, it is very funny at times. It has some iconic lines and iconic moments, and it is still very, very fun. But the tone just doesn't mesh well with me. It doesn't really feel like an Evil Dead movie. If I forget that this is an Evil Dead movie, I enjoy it way more. Evil Dead Burn. This is a movie that I wanted from this franchise. It fully understands the tone and style of Evil Dead. It tries to be like an Evil Dead film, but it puts its own spin on it at the same time. Much like Rise, if you love gore and blood, you'll have a blast with this movie, much more than Evil Dead Rise. It actually has really good characters as well. The direction is fantastic as well. My only big flaw is that the last 10 minutes kind of limp a little bit. The original. Now this is an absolute classic, but I do feel it's kind of experimenting with the tone. It wants to be scary, it wants to be funny at the same time, but it doesn't really delve into the funny all that much. You can tell this is where Sam Raimi was trying to find his footing. But at the same time, I do kind of appreciate that because this was made on a very small budget. It was a learning curve for him. I really enjoy this movie still. But number 1 is of course Evil Dead 2. How could it not be number 1? This movie is scary, it's funny, it's got fantastic slapstick comedy in there, a brilliant Bruce Campbell lead performance. It has some of the most iconic lines in cinema history, horror films especially. It's just a brilliant time. Evil Dead 2 is an absolute classic.